already pushed the year-long timetable path to you. Okay. So now today's agenda generally is going to be what is called as the concept of Irwin Declaration. After we've done Irwin Declaration, we will discuss Delhi Manifesto. Once we're done with Delhi Manifesto, we will move to the Purna Swaraj Resolution. Thereafter, we will go to Purna Swaraj Resolution. From Purna Swaraj Resolution, this whole sector will move to the next 1, 2, 3, and then we'll move to CDM phase 1. Then we'll discuss Gandhi Irwin Pact, the truce, then CDM phase 2, and we will end today's class with Pune Pact, with McDonald Award, and we will also in between discuss the RTCs, RTC 1, 2, and 3, roundtable conferences. So can I give you the timeline for what we have to do today? Gandhi versus Bose tomorrow, Haripuri and Tripuri session tomorrow. Now, let us see what we have to traverse today. And I'm very serious when I say that the minor timelines are important. The Pauli Declaration and Irwin Declaration, same thing. These minor timelines do matter because these words, Delhi Manifesto, the concept of Irwin Declaration, sometimes UPSC asks them to put in chronological order. But you don't have to remember the years, but at least you need to know which came which. So is Irwin Declaration first or is Delhi Manifesto second? And when I'll give you the master timeline in the last class, you will automatically have all these events in one whole chain. So I'll give you a master timeline. That is the purpose of the last class, which is consolidating everything. I'll start with 1613 and we'll go till 1947. So we start today in 1929, October. Then we move to November of 1929. Then December of 1929. Once we're done with the year of 1929, we'll move to the year 1930. Very significant things are going to happen this year. Then 1931, 1932, 1933, 1934, and 1935. Now, what happened in October of 1929? This is called Irwin Declaration, also called the Pauli Declaration. November of 1929, thereafter we have what we call as Delhi Manifesto. I will discuss everything with you, you know that. Just have to understand the basic concept here. And then you have Lahore session, one of the most important sessions in Indian history, which is called the Purna Swaraj Declaration. Now you've done this. Once you've done this, we move to the year 1930, extremely important generally because of the fact that we will have 11-point ultimatum. I will repeat this timeline in the end again, so don't have to worry. 11-point ultimatum, the CDM phase 1, and what we call as Dandi March, and civil disobedience, CDM, and then we move to Round Table Conference 1. RTC means Round Table Conference. I will discuss with you what is this concept, Round Table Conference. The 1931 is the controversial Gandhi-Irwin Pact. The fact related to Round Table Conference 2, and the same year we'll have CDM phase 2. But basically 1932 is Round Table Conference 3, CDM phase 2, but McDonald Award, or what is called communal awards. CDM means civil disobedience movement. I'll write that down. and then Pune Pact. 1933 is CDM phase 2 suspended, CDM withdrawn, and Government of India Act 1935. Government of India 1935, also called the White Papers. CDM means Civil Disobedience Movement. That would be post-independence, Yashovarman. Post-independence. So in between, yes, the Karachi session also, but I'm not putting it in the timeline right now because it will become too much heavy. But technically, yes, the Karachi session. Yes, Saifuddin, when I will give you the master timeline, all of this will come together. All these smaller timelines will come together into one basic. Harsh, Surya Sen, we did not skip it. Surya Sen, we will discuss when we'll discuss the aftermath of the CDM. Because technically the timing of Surya Sen is the CDM period only. So rather than doing it separately there, I've just put it here. Don't worry about that. So Chittagong raid, Surya Sen is something which parallelly happens to this whole concept. Because it's 1930-ish period, 30-31. So don't have to worry about that. I know that is the last small thing which is left there. Okay. Now this is the basic timeline we cover today. We'll discuss the 1935 Government of India Act tomorrow. But today it's more about understanding what is this Irwin Declaration, what are roundtable conferences, and the basic point of Purna Swaraj Declaration, why Purna Swaraj Declaration, and this concept of CDM, Civil Disobedience Movement. So if we are basically clear about what time we are traversing, then we'll go into the details. Yes, everybody's here, everybody's ready, because then I start to develop each of these concepts. Perfect. Great. So I'll come back to this again. 3 basic timelines we are to discuss. First 1929, then 1930 separately, 31, 32, and 30 with regards to roundtable conferences. Okay. Now what I want from you is you need to concentrate right now, because I'm going to technically go to the last class where we had discussed this concept, but now we will again revisit it with the larger context of what is happening. So the last time we were discussing about larger Indian politics, we were discussing about the Simon Commission. And when the Simon Commission came to India, it came with an all British committee. Therefore, this response to the Simon Commission is called the Nehru Report. And with regards to Nehru Report, we saw that they asked for dominion status. And the concept of dominion status is nothing but partial independence, where we have a responsible government in India, but the ultimate executive is still the queen or the king. And basically, we get independence within the empire, within the Commonwealth in that sense. Now, what the British do is that now the British have to somehow reiterate what Montagu had said. Montagu in 1917 had said something, which is that what is the target of the British in India? What did Montagu say? What is the target of the British in India? Come on. The target of the British in India in 1917 was what? Very good. It was about sedition not equals to Swaraj and responsible representative government. Very good. Great. So basically, he said that we want to give responsible government to the Indians. But thereafter, they already did a lot of things: Rowlatt Satyagrah, Jallianwala Bagh, non-cooperation movement, and the Chauri Chaura. All this got lost somewhere. And because of the Swarajist no-changer politics, the Simon Commission comes to India. And thereafter, this question again comes, is what is the purpose of the British in India? That is the basic point. Okay, you are exploiting us, but what is the end game here? What is the end game here? And herein comes a very important declaration which comes on 31st October 1929, which happened to be Deepavali or Diwali, and this is called the Deepavali or what we call as the Irwin Declaration, Deepavali Declaration or Irwin Declaration. Irwin is the viceroy, and Irwin is considered to be a conservative viceroy. He's a conservative viceroy, not that good to Indians, but not that too conservative, but okayish. Not a Curzon, but little bit close to him. Now, in Irwin Declaration, there's a very important concept which Irwin says. And what Irwin says is, and now please pay attention, from here on, we are now discussing what we have to discuss for today, and you have to just create a picture in your mind. Irwin says and reiterates the fact that India, the ultimate purpose of the British is responsible government, that we want to give responsible government to the Indians. But for the first time, the British technically use the term dominion status. Now, Irwin is going to take what Nehru report said and start to annoy the Indian nationalism by saying that the ultimate purpose of the British in India is dominion status. And in 1928 already, Nehru report had said that we want dominion status, which is partial independence. And what he says is that Simon Commission has recommended that in order to decide about this dominion status, we need to, Montagu never used the word dominion. He said responsible government. Now, Irwin for the first time uses this word dominion status. But what is more important is within the Irwin Declaration, there's a concept that round table conferences in London have been recommended by Simon, Sir John Simon, who is the Simon Commission president. He says that round table conferences are going to happen in London, and this is to discuss, now please pay attention, discuss the dominion status concept. The word which is very important here is discuss. So now, in a way, from Montagu's declaration to Irwin Declaration, it's one step forward. Are you able to understand this concept, that it's basically one step forward? Montagu said we want to give representative government, and now Irwin says we will give you representative government, but we want it in the concept of dominion status, and we will discuss this concept, and we'll have a proper picnic in London, which is called the round table conferences. 3 of them were planned, 3 round table conferences, which were going to be planned to basically discuss what to do with this concept of dominion status. Now, the word which is very important out of these 3 round table conferences is discuss. Because what does discuss mean? What does discuss mean? In 1917, you said ambiguously that we want to give representative government. Now, in 31st October on Diwali, you give us a bomb saying that ultimate purpose of the British in India is dominion status, and we are going to have a round table conference in London to discuss the dominion concept. Now, basic point is the dominion status is one thing which we already know what it means. But what is this? What is this to discuss? So now Gandhi says that we need to now take a call here. So Irwin Declaration, 2 points, dominion status and round table conference. Is this clear? Then I move to the 2nd November of 1929. Very good. Now, in November of 1929, Gandhi says that the British are offering dominion status. What to do with it? Jawaharlal Nehru and Subhash Chandra Bose already don't like this concept that when did we ask for dominion status? But there is going to be an all-party meeting in Delhi in which Gandhi and all prominent personalities are going to come and meet. And the basic point is that they say, okay, you want to give us dominion status, give it right now, give us dominion status in 1929. And this drama which you want to do called the round table conference, we will not discuss. We will come to London and we will form a constituent assembly. If you want to call us for round table conference, and which is to make a constituent assembly and make a constitution of this independent, partially independent India, then we are going to join you in round table conference. We are not going to come there and you are going to ask me, so how do you feel? Do you like British independence? Do you like British rule? So what is your conception of dominion status? We don't want to answer these questions. You want to give us dominion status, give it to us right now. If you give it to us right now within a year, it is okay. We will come to roundtable conference. We will discuss how to make a constituent assembly. We will discuss how to make the constitution. The constitution will be made. We will get dominion status. So the first major discussion, or the what is called the Delhi Manifesto. The Delhi Manifesto says that dominion status should be given immediately. Round table conference means round table conference. A conference happens around a round table, and it happens in London. So dominion status should be given immediately. Thereafter, second is that the conferences in London should be about the process of constitution making and constituent assembly, and not to discuss dominion. So it's very simply, I say to you that we will meet and we will discuss how to clear this examination. But you say, no need to discuss, give me a roadmap. The round table conference is not going to be about how do you feel, what you are going to do, what is this concept. So the Delhi Manifesto, which is published in November of 1929, very simply says that, okay, Irwin Declaration says that dominion status is the ultimate purpose of the British, and 3 round table conferences are going to happen for that. So the Delhi Manifesto very simply says, okay, want to give us dominion? Right now, give us that dominion, and we will discuss. We want RTCs, round table conferences, to be a concept of constitution making. Are we clear about Delhi Declaration, Delhi Manifesto and Irwin Declaration? Perfect. Harish, we don't live in a constitution which is made by us. It's a British constitution. The Montagu-Chelmsford reforms, which is 1919 Government of India Act. So the structure right now is not Indian. It's not a constitution. It's all governmental acts, which are British acts. Now, Gandhi and Nehru go and meet with Irwin, and they very straightforward ask Irwin, what is the purpose of the meeting? What is the purpose of the meeting? You tell me, what is the purpose of the meeting? And Subarna, don't have to learn that. What is the purpose of the meeting? And very simply, Irwin says, whatever be the purpose, it is not about constitution making. And it is in this frustration that in December of 1929, in Lahore session, now Nehru as president, Jawaharlal Nehru, the INC adopts the famous Purna Swaraj resolution, or what is called complete independence resolution, and it was decided that on 26th January 1930 we would celebrate the first Independence Day. Independence Day. And this is the basic point here. This is the basic point here, that now Jawaharlal Nehru and Subhash Chandra Bose, two very young important members, will very simply say the movement, there's the idea, and there's the facts. The idea and the movement should be clear. Facts is something secondary here. Can we agree to this much, that we understand the CDM? Why do we call it an all India level movement? Why is it so important? Why is it so important? So whenever we will discuss the CDM, we will always talk about the salt marches. We will always talk about no rent, no revenue. We will also talk about Chaukidari, anti-Chaukidari tax movement. We will also talk about the national flag. When we discuss the national flag as a symbol, we can talk about Tripuran Kumaran. And thereafter, we have to talk about women's participation. When we talk about women's participation, we talk about two personalities for sure. Sarojini Naidu and second and most important, Kamala Devi Chattopadhyay. Thereafter, you can write about Ambika Bai also. Avantika Bai rather. Avantika Bai Gokhale. Then you have to talk about Cunningham Circular. Then you have to talk about Khan Abdul Ghaffar Khan. And basically, if you are not talking about these aspects, then the answer is incomplete. You have to at least mention certain names and certain personalities. Gandhi being one, Sarojini Naidu, Kamala Devi Chattopadhyay. Just sprinkle the names. Imam Sahib, whatever you want to remember. C. Rajagopalachari, K.K. Nair, K.K. Nair, C. Raja Gopalachari, or as we call him, Rajaji. Thereafter, you have Gandhi. You can't remember, have to remember his name. Imam Sahib, Rajendra Prasad. There's a multiple names, but basic simple point is, wherever Rani Gandhi, wherever you want to sprinkle. But remember one thing, the K. Krishna Pillai, the forms need to be very clear. Please understand this. The form needs to be very clear, that you have to mention Chaukidari tax. You have to remember no rent, no campaign. Even if you don't write one name less, if you get a question, and I'll give you a question here, then we take a break. If you get a question, this is going to be the type of question which is going to come. Can we close this topic? Are we all together here? Are we united against the British with regards to the CDM? Okay, great, perfect. So let us just come together. Okay, so the question is going to be something like this. The civil disobedience movement in Indian history represents a all India level movement with multiple forms and symbols of resistance. Discuss. And we will discuss this concept of discuss, evaluation, this and that. 250 words. I hope you can write it. If you miss a single name, nobody is going to prosecute you. It's about forms here. It's about forms. Done. 250 words means 15 marks. Can we take a break? Yes, we can. Perfect. So we come back at 7 p.m. and I hope that you are clear about what we are doing here. Perfect. Thank you. Cool down. Yes. Amitaj. Labdi, you can write either way, whatever you like. whatever you like. Now, Amritansh, there's a problem in learning these answers by heart. Because what UPSC will do is it will change a little word and everything will change. So the problem is that you need to have conceptual clarity. You need to have conceptual clarity, but you don't need to go into details. That is the point. If see, when you will start to write answers, and some of you have started to, I've got even emails about that, you will see that 150 words, 250 words is not a lot of words. Is actually not a lot of words. And if you go with basic things only, 250 automatically it will become. So basic simple point is, in a mains answer, what matters is how do you write an answer which answers the question. Which answers the question. What is the difference between non-cooperation CDM? Non-cooperation only boycott, no laws were broken, khilafat issue. Civil disobedience linked to salt satyagrah, linked to rather roundtable conferences, Irwin Pact. So the way you write an answer is basically how you understand that concept. See, I'll tell you one thing. I'll tell you very important thing, and this a lot of students think that they only know. After teaching for 6-7 years in Delhi University, I know one thing for sure. I've checked close to 50-60,000 answer papers. I know one thing for sure. What students actually do is, you ask them anything, they will only write what they know. कुछ भी पूछ लो, लिखूंगा मैं वही जो मैं जानता हूं. You figure it out. Basically, the question will be about civil disobedience movement, that they will write about whatever they know about civil disobedience. They are not going to try to answer the question. This is a standard thing which happens all across India, where students tend to beat around the bush. Nobody wants any kahani. No stories need to be written here. What needs to be written is precise answers. Simple point of the matter is understanding. If you ratify, because a lot of different channels, a lot of different people will say ratify the introduction and conclusion, but do you know the question which is going to come in the examination? No. You need to have the ability to write something, and the only way you do it is start. Once you start to write, you will automatically realize what are the issues, and slowly but surely you will conquer it. There is no magic wand. There is no concept of any drink, I make you drink and you will start to write very quickly or very well. It is practice, practice, and practice. That is the only way you write good answers. That's it. Harish, don't put subtopics. Don't put subtopics. Don't worry about that. It has to be para, point, para. Subtopics and all don't need to put in. In this question, what subtopic will you put? You keep it very simple. History answers need to look very neat. Paragraph, point-wise paragraph. Yes, everybody? Yes, you get my point. Amritansh, great, perfect. Kritika, I've seen your messages. Can you tell me your query? Because you are talking about the book somehow. See, understand one thing. You don't learn from Bipin Chandra. You revise from Bipin Chandra, which is that PPTs plus NCERT is the bare minimum and must. Bipin Chandra is when you revise. But you will realize one thing, that this much level of detail is not there in Bipin Chandra. A lot of you would have tried it also. That is not there. That is not there. So you actually have to keep it very simple, which is PPT. Once you start to learn, you will automatically cover all other books. Right? Okay. Kuru, good question. That what is the vocabulary? Now, don't have to hurt the ego of the examiner. If you are writing words for which he has to open a dictionary, then it's a problem. Simple NCERT level language is more than enough. That is why everybody says read the NCERT, read the NCERT. NCERT level language is what is expected in the examination. No flamboyancy, nothing at all. So Kritika, don't worry, I will bring the book in class. I will tell you what we've covered. I'll tell you what to do with that also. So don't worry about the book. Simple point is NCERT, the PPTs cover everything. Every question can be done from the PPT. Just have to revise it once, right? Vocabulary of the question. The vocabulary should not be flamboyant, that you are writing very difficult words. Simple NCERT level vocabulary can be developed by just going through the newspaper and the NCERT itself. You will read a lot of books. Nobody is asking you to go to Salman Rushdie or level of Ramchandra Guha. Simple, right? Okay. Middle class participated, yes. Difference between NCM and CDM, Subarna, very simply. That is a movement which happened with regards to Khilafat and was not about breaking laws. It was about basically not cooperating and boycotting. CDM is related to the larger issue of Indian nationalism, all India level movement. That is not an all India level movement. It has Hindu Muslim unity, it does not have Hindu Muslim unity. So comparatively, they have different perspectives. Can we now go to the Gandhi-Irwin Pact part of the story and the roundtable conferences? Yes. Abhinav, consider the PPT as your book. If you will actually, there is no one book for modern India. If you are a history optional student, you would know there's no one book. You have Shekhar Bandyopadhyay, you have Sumit Sarkar, you have Bipin Chandra Struggle for Independence, you have Since Independence, then you have Bipin Chandra and NCERT. There's no one book. That is the problem. Even if you are following Spectrum, the problem with Spectrum is it leaves a lot of topics or does not give you mains level knowledge. It only gives you prelims level knowledge. That is the problem. Okay. Yes, Harish, why not? Okay, can we talk about roundtable conferences? Yes, the PPTs are enough for mains. Anything you want to write can be written from here. Okay. Now, as I said, in the background, this whole drama called the roundtable conference is happening. Yashovarman, sure, but you are then following blindly. That is the basic problem. And the PPTs has much more information than that book also. That is your prerogative, totally. PPTs are enough. You have to go through PPTs for sure. Optional, not. You, Prashant, have to go a little bit further because historiography goes in. Okay. Roundtable conferences. As I said, whilst all this is happening, the CDM is happening between March 1930 to December 1930. One thing more was happening in the background, which is called the Roundtable Conference. First one. It's happening in London. And the INC had boycotted it. Now I'm moving the topic away from CDM to the other aspect. So CDM, March 1930 to December 1930, is happening in the background. In between, if you remember, Bhagat Singh has already got arrested, and the Saunders murder and the central legislative bombing has already happened. Bhagat Singh has been tried and is now in the process of making a mockery of the law. And the first roundtable conference happens in India, in London, and basically the INC boycotts it. Now you tell me, is the discussion of dominion actually any purpose, or is it fruitful without the INC? No, because the only organization which actually represents India is the INC, and the INC technically is not there only. And that is, like you, that is also the solution or the conclusion which the first roundtable conference members saw. Everybody went, everybody had a jolly time, everybody enjoyed London, but everybody said it is a futile exercise. If no one represents the INC here, then we can't give dominion status to Muslim League. We can't give dominion status to the depressed classes. We can't give dominion status to anybody. We need an all India level movement or all India level committee to be here, or a party to be here. So the first roundtable conference is a major failure. Jinnah was there, was a major failure because of the INC boycott. So INC in a way was able to succeed in making the first roundtable conference useless. Now the basic point is the government in Britain. Why did Jinnah go? Because he liked the concept of roundtable conferences, dominion status. He will obviously do something which INC is doing opposite of it. By this point of time, that schism is coming through. Now, Irwin will be approached by the government of Britain, and Irwin will be said that you need to find a solution. You need to find a solution. Roundtable conferences without Congress are useless. So we need to bring the Congress on the table. We need to bring the Congress on the table. So when roundtable conferences happen, it is a unique moment in itself because Indians and Britishers are sitting on the same table as in a way equals. But INC's chair being empty meant that it was a futile exercise. And in a way, it was generally a drama which was being done. But the INC not being there, the British could not say to the world that we have the single largest party in the house. So when we talk about the concept of roundtable conferences, it is a way of signifying that the participants are equal. For the first time, at least the British were ready to give the Indians an equal negotiating table, and every group was going to be represented equally. All political parties, representatives of the princely states, the states which not had been touched but did accept the Queen's authority, were called. It is going to happen in the Buckingham Palace in London. Purpose was basically to, now see, purpose. Understand the demands and grievances of the different social backgrounds of India. Now this is called a joke. This is called a joke. The British knew where Gandhi was sleeping and they want to understand the grievances. That basically how are the Indians living? They can pick up anybody overnight and they right now want to understand the grievances. And this is why the INC said that this is just a big eyewash. You rule India, you know where everybody is, you technically control everything possible in India. You want to understand. You are giving separate electorates, dividing India. You have now technically divided into different parts. You have given separate electorates to even the Sikhs, Europeans, Anglo-Indians, and the Muslims. And you want to say that we want to understand the demands. The demand of the INC was very simple: Constituent Assembly. So when the first roundtable conference is going to happen between 12th November 1930 and 19 January 1931, first ever conferences of the Indians and Britishers sitting on equal footing. It was held during the civil disobedience movement and Congress did not participate. That is the basic point. Most business leaders will also boycott it because the INC was very close to the business leaders. Muslim League, Hindu Mahasabha, and the liberals and the princes will attend it. Purpose was to discuss the Simon Commission report. Virtually every delegate will say that without the Congress, this is a futile exercise. And now the British Prime Minister will say that we need to give us olive branch, which is a hand of friendship to the Congress to get them to come to the roundtable conference. The simple point of the matter is that when all these representatives will meet, you don't have to learn this. Do not learn. But when all these representatives will meet, 89 people were invited, and we will have towering personalities such as Dr. Ambedkar. You will have from the women, this you have to remember, Begum Jahanara Shahnawaz. She was one personality, a woman who was there throughout the three roundtable conferences, represented via the princely state itself. And you will also have the Muslim League. Muslim League will take Jinnah, Fazul Haq, Muhammad Ali Jinnah, Muhammad Safi. Will them, don't have to remember that. But basic point of the matter is that there will be close to 89 people who will go from India. Just remember that Dr. Ambedkar and Begum Jahanara Shahnawaz were the two people who will be there throughout the three conferences. I will tell you that when I'll talk about it. But basic point is people did go. Do not learn in any way or form. Now, if you understand that the first roundtable conference is just a drama with no real consequence, we now talk about Gandhi-Irwin Pact. Is this clear? Without the Congress, first roundtable conference is immaterial. Don't have to learn these facts. Just have to remember RTC-1 is a failure. RTC-1 is a failure. Very good. Perfect. Now, let's talk about Gandhi-Irwin Pact. The first aspect is Irwin was under pressure. Irwin was under pressure. Somehow find a solution or bring this INC to the negotiating table. That bring the INC to the negotiating table and at least make them attend the second roundtable conference, because the money was being burnt in London, which was futile without the INC. So now what happens is that Gandhi was also looking for his truce. Gandhi was also looking for his truce, because between this period of launching it on 12th March 1930 and by the time we come to 4th March 1931, this CDM was overheating. The CDM was overheating. Basically, people were struggling. Irving was not giving up. Nobody was getting nothing. Violence was now slowly but surely creeping in. But CDM was not going anywhere. I broke the salt law. Now, British arrested me. Thereafter, people broke the salt law. But India is not getting independence. India is not getting dominion status. And the movement is getting overheated slowly but surely. And Gandhi could see that. And in his model of struggle, truce struggle, you need to take a truce at the right time. At the right time. And Gandhi could see that the people were wearing down. So coincidentally, both Gandhi and Irwin were looking for something. And Gandhi was looking for a truce, and Irwin was looking for the Congress to somehow be brought in to the RTCs. So we understand why Gandhi is looking for the truce, why Gandhi is actually there or is ready to go into a negotiation with Irwin. Now, very simply, later the British will technically scold Irwin for what he did, but there will be certain demands which will be put up by Gandhi. Out of all demands, everything will be accepted except for two. So what I'll do is that I'll show you the demands and then we'll discuss the Bhagat Singh angle. So on 5th March 1931, there's something called Gandhi-Irwin Pact comes in. And it has almost been a year that the movement began to take force, but Gandhi could see that the movement was slowing down. By January 25th, 1931, Gandhi and other CWSP members were now released unconditionally. So they all had been arrested. So they are now released by the government unconditionally. So the first olive branch which Irwin does. And the first time Indian leaders were invited by the British to Irwin, that we discuss on the equal footing. Gandhi initiated discussion with Viceroy, and this discussion with Gandhi and the British Indian government in Delhi is also called the Delhi Pact or the Gandhi-Irwin Pact or the Gandhi-Irwin Pact. Now, why did he take a truce? Because very simply, there was a need to stop the movement because the movement was becoming slowly but surely, very simply overheated. Now, Gandhi will go, Congress Working Committee, CWC, Gandhi will go with all demands, and the following will be accepted by Irwin, except for two. Now, listen to me. Irwin agreed for return of, listen to me, for the aspect of the INC to go to the second roundtable conference. The government agreed to the following if INC agrees to go to second roundtable conference. And what does he agree? Release of all political prisoners, close to 80,000 people who had not been convicted for violence. Not convicted for violence. Remission on all fees not yet collected. Basically, any tax which they had not collected, remission, reduction. Return of all land not yet sold to third party. So basically, land confiscated will be returned. This is going to impact together close to lakhs of peasantry. Lenient treatment of government servants who had resigned. Right to respect peaceful and non-aggressive picketing. Withdrawal of the emergency ordinances which were used to repress the CDM. Salt law was amended and people were given in coastal areas the right to produce salt for personal consumption. Peaceful agitation against liquor was allowed and confiscated property will be returned. Now you tell me, in the history of India, has the British ever agreed to so many major demands in return for the INC to actually sit in, just go to London? This is what Irwin was ready to accept. Basically, everything which was there in a way in the 11-point ultimatum, more or less. But Gandhi also took two more demands with him, which Irwin was not ready to accept. And Irwin very simply said that if you are going to not take this deal, I will not agree to any of this if you don't remove these two out of the list. And the two things which he did not agree to, which Gandhi did take with him, he will said that police excesses needed to be inquired, which is public committee inquiry into police excesses, meaning people being beaten up, the police doing lathi charges and all. But the most important demand, commutation of Bhagat Singh and his comrades' death sentence to life sentence. Gandhi took this demand with him, that you make his death sentence, he does not represent what you believe is the revolutionary activities. He represents much bigger than what he is, and you need to commute and reduce his death sentence to life sentence. Gandhi was agreeing, if everything is agreed, to suspend the CDM movement and go to the second roundtable conference. Now, there's a lot of controversy with regards to this concept, that people say that Gandhi did not, or rather Gandhi could save Bhagat Singh. But there are three things in this story. Firstly, Irwin already had taken all courses of action outside his power, from ordinance to the concept of that, the story I told you, very simply, the concept of ordinance, the aspect that the court was also illegal, everything. To create, very simply, Bhagat Singh was going to be made into an example, because he represented something very, very bigger than what he was. He had killed Saunders. He was the one who technically threw the bomb. As we know, if anybody who was not there in that class, British did not know when they arrested Bhagat Singh, that Bhagat Singh was the same person who had actually killed Saunders. It is because of his own members of the HSRA telling them that this is the same Bhagat Singh who killed, or this is the person who killed Saunders. Irwin is going to use an emergency ordinance to make a special court, and initial sentence of Bhagat Singh was life imprisonment, but it will be removed. A special court will be used. The basic statements of tortured approvers is going to be used to convict Bhagat Singh for what is called death sentence. Now, the basic point of the matter is Gandhi did go with this demand. Now, listen to me. But what is on the line is that if Gandhi does not agree with this demand, that if Gandhi says, I want these two demands to be accepted, then all of this goes. So basically, Gandhi in himself also is a peculiar character because he is very clear about his ideals. And one more thing which Gandhi had in consideration. You tell me one thing. Gandhi saves Bhagat Singh. Then why didn't anybody else save the Anusilan Samiti or Bindho Ghosh, Virendra Kumar Ghosh? Why weren't they not saved? Why were they not saved? Gandhi said that if I make an exception in my ideals, which he still was doing, I am then technically saying that every other revolutionary is not a revolutionary. Are you getting my point? It's basically Gandhi has a is in a tight spot. Either he accepts the release of 80,000 people, or either way, Irwin is going to win. Irwin is going to hang Bhagat Singh either way. Are you getting my point? Even if Gandhi accepts the Gandhi-Irwin Pact or it does not accept the Gandhi-Irwin Pact, Bhagat Singh is going to be put on death row. If he accepts the Gandhi-Irwin Pact, he at least saves 80,000 people. And if he does not accept it, either way, Bhagat Singh will be hanged. So people tend to say that Gandhi could have saved Bhagat Singh. Yes, he could have. He tried also. But I leave it to your judgment. I'm not here to judge Gandhi. I'm not here to judge anybody. I leave it to your judgment that Irwin, who had technically created a mess to just make sure that Bhagat Singh was created an example, he was ready to accept everything, but not two demands. Should have Gandhi leave in this, or should have just left the Gandhi-Irwin Pact, or he should have actually not left it. I'll give you this option. Let's see how the class responds to it. A means that Gandhi should have given up for the demand, and B means that he should have gone through. I want to know your opinion, though it technically doesn't matter, because it doesn't even matter what I think. Gandhi did what he did, but I generally want to know what you think. I'm giving you two options. Everybody is going to tell me. Come on. I've randomly put A or B as the answer. I have no stake here, no opinion here. Police excess means police beating up people, harassing people. He wanted an inquiry into it. 64-36. You believe and you basically are a utilitarian and you understand the logic. You understand the logic. The logic is what Gandhi understood. Bhagat Singh represents a very important personality in Indian history. He still does. He's still very, very important for us. But Gandhi was between a rock and a cliff. He either accepts that the lakhs of peasantry get their lands back, 80,000 people come out of the technically out of the jails. Bhagat Singh's fate was either way the same. That is the basic point. As Yashovarman points out, his fate was either way the same. He could have, it's an ethical dilemma. Gandhi either has to choose 80,000 or he has to choose giving up the 80,000 with Bhagat Singh. But because Bhagat Singh, Irwin is the real villain. Irwin was never, ever going to give up this concept. And I believe if Bhagat Singh was in Gandhi's position, he would have done the same thing. Because he himself believed that the peasant, the worker, and the people are much more important than just these personalities. What makes Indian nationalism is mass nationalism, not personalities. So you agree, you disagree. My basic point of the matter is I leave it to your judgment. Simple point is I have presented you the case which Gandhi had. Gandhi had the option to save 80,000 people plus their land and their dues, plus, or on the other hand, leave all of this and basically give up the whole pact itself. Delhi Pact was either way going to not change how Irwin was going to treat Bhagat Singh. Now, are you, see, simple. Bimal, what is the option? What is the option? Bhagat Singh was put on death row. Gandhi Irwin Pact is happening. Gandhi goes with the demand, commute his death sentence. Irwin says, I am ready to accept everything, but not accept this commutation. Now you tell me one thing. If Gandhi leaves Gandhi Irwin Pact, does the death row change? No. And if Gandhi takes the Gandhi Irwin Pact, does the death row change? So basically, either way, the concept is the same. You can think that others are thinking wrong. I don't want to come in between these 64 and 36%. I leave it to your fate. According to me, this is what happened. I don't judge anybody. Gandhi tried. Gandhi chose what he chose. Can we agree to disagree here? Yes. Prashant, I'm explaining both options to you very simply. The Irwin is ready to accept all these demands. Irwin is ready to accept all these demands, but is not ready to accept these two demands. Gandhi only has to agree to go to round table conference. Now you tell me what you would choose. That is your prerogative. That is your understanding. That is the basic point. Gandhi, if he does not, he has an option in saying that I walk off. Gandhi can walk off over these two issues. Gandhi can give up all of these demands for these two demands. He could have either left or accepted Gandhi Irwin Pact. Simple point. Everybody understands, right? I have given you this concept to you. Now you judge yourself. Are you getting my point? See, agree, disagree. I have no opinion here, because the task of the historian is to technically tell the story. I am telling you the story. Leave it to you, 64% or 36%, or be it the other way around. Gandhi did what he did. Gandhi had basically, simple point, Gandhi had two basic concepts. For him, ahimsa was uncompromisable. And second for him was every nationalist revolutionary is the same for me. He took the demand irrespective of that. Irwin rejected. Either lets the Delhi Pact or Gandhi Irwin Pact fall out, or go with it. Either way, Irwin makes sure Bhagat Singh is martyred. Simple point is, it's about choosing all of these demands, and that. Done. I hope I've given you all perspectives. Leave it to you. Perfect. Can we then talk about the consequence? Gandhi went with what he went. Yes? Great. Now, the Gandhi Irwin Pact, Gandhi will technically accept. The fourth point is what? 1, 2, 3, 4. Lenient treatment of government servants. Under CDM, government servants were going to leave their positions. That is why the concept of resigning from government position. Now, Gandhi Irwin Pact will be accepted on 5th March 1931. Irwin will agree to do what he said, and Gandhi will now be going to Karachi, where the next INC session is going to happen. See, one thing, Parth, please understand one thing. UPSC will never ask you this very, very dangerous question, because UPSC knows that there's no answer to this. UPSC will never ask you these type of questions. Who is better, Bose or Gandhi? Who is wrong and right, Gandhi or Bhagat Singh? These are two very towering figures of our nationalism. Without both, nationalism does not exist. With both, nationalism exists. Remember this point. Even in the interview, you would be the one who will steer it there. Interview board will never automatically say, okay, yes, hello, what is your name? Tell me who is better, Bhagat Singh or Gandhi. You will, if you will steer it that ways, that is a separate issue. That you will every time either bring in Gandhi or Bhagat Singh, then you will steer it to that place. You control what the way the interview happens. So if there is an answer, you want a diplomatic answer for interview, you want a diplomatic answer. Should I give you that answer? You want a neutral answer? Then listen to me. The neutral answer to this story is going to be very simple. Both Gandhi and Bhagat Singh are extremely important personalities in our national movement. Without either, the national movement would not have been what it is. When we talk about Gandhi and Bhagat Singh, neither confronted each other directly or had any animosity between each other. However, their interaction historically comes through via the Gandhi-Irwin Pact, and the controversy surrounding Gandhi-Irwin Pact revolves around the aspect of Gandhi trying to save Bhagat Singh. We believe, and the given historical sources tell us, that Gandhi did try to save Bhagat Singh via the two demands which were not accepted by Irwin. However, Irwin made sure that the larger national movement would fail if Gandhi would have walked off. Either way, the fate of Bhagat Singh was sealed because of Irwin's insistence of either allowing the pact to go forward or not allowing the pact to go forward. He did try. However, the fact of the matter is that Gandhi chose what he chose because of his ideals and his understanding of nationalism. Now, you obviously can't ratify this. You would have said it in a very... Irwin gets the win-win either way. So it's such a big answer. But you would technically be trying to sabotage your own interview if you're discussing these issues with the board. Basic point. Kanranshu, this is not the way interview happens. These are IAS officers. They will choose one name. It's not a game. You choose what you want to choose according to your ideal. You choose what you want to choose. I am not here to impose my understanding, because I have no understanding only. I am a storyteller. I am telling you the story. I leave it to you what you want to do. You can see, if you are discussing these things in the interview, most probably you are doing something very dangerous with your interview. You've given the mains process, the whole prelims process, to now go and talk with 50, 60-year-old IAS bureaucrats, and that too about Gandhi, Bose, and these things. Dangerous, quite dangerous. But as I said, there is a diplomatic answer for everything. They are not going to be so crude that you will say black and white. The answer is gray. You getting my point? Getting my point. I gave you a diplomatic answer, but you can see that the diplomatic answer itself is gol matol. It's all saying the same thing in two different ways. Yes? Great. Okay. Can I close this issue? Can I take the story forward? Ethics paper, Tushar, there will be hypothetical situations, not Gandhi and Bhagat Singh. Don't worry. Okay. No, Sachin, see, even if you're a history optional student, why are you going and talking to the UPSC chairman about Gandhi and Bhagat Singh? They will not randomly say, okay, today I'm going to ask him that. You steer the way the interview happens. Simple point. Okay. Now, why Gandhi took the truce is because the signs of exhaustion had already come through. And no doubt there was disappointment, a lot of disappointment that Gandhi-Irwin Pact was done. Peasants of Gujarat were disappointed because the land were not restored immediately. Vast masses of people were jubilant that the government at least regarded the movement so significant that Gandhi and Irwin were actually on the same footing. And political prisoners were released from the jails, and 80,000 unnamed heroes did come out. 80,000 satyagrahis did come out of the jail because of this pact. Because of this pact. And that is the real story behind it, that 80,000 people were released. Now, see, Gandhi has in principle accepted 80,000 is a very big number that is. Gandhi in principle technically had accepted Gandhi-Irwin Pact. Now it was about the INC accepting it as a body, and that is called the Karachi Session 1931. Karachi Session is known for 2-3 very interesting and important developments. First is that the Gandhi-Irwin Pact, will be accepted. At the same point of time, Gandhi will be chosen as sole spokesperson to represent the INC in second roundtable conference. Only one man. Gandhi represents the INC. Then there are two more things which were introduced at the Karachi session. First is called the fundamental rights, and second is called National Economic Program. So please remember, in the prelims examination, if there's a match the following, these things are matched to this. Gandhi-Irwin Pact, Gandhi is chosen as sole representative, National Economic Program, and fundamental rights. Though Gandhi on his way back or on his way to Karachi will be shown black flags by the organization which Bhagat Singh himself produced and envisaged. But now Gandhi going to London was final. So the Karachi session, a special session in 1931, just 6 days before the martyring of Bhagat Singh, Sukhdev and Rajguru. On his way, he was shown black flags by the Punjab Naujawan Bharat Sabha, and because he failed to secure the commutation of death sentence of Bhagat Singh. And here there will be a word of honor that while disapproving and dissociating itself with political violence, Congress admired the bravery and sacrifice of the three martyrs. The goal of Purna Swaraj will be now reiterated, and the Delhi Pact will be endorsed, and two things others will also be endorsed in this whole plan. First, the fundamental rights. It was believed that once the INC becomes the representative government of India, it will fundamentally give the rights to the people: freedom of speech and press, associations, assemble, universal adult franchise, equal rights irrespective of caste, creed, and sex, neutrality in state religious matters, free and compulsory primary education, and protection of culture, language, script. Does this sound familiar to you? Does this sound familiar to you? Basically, all of this is nothing but what we later absorbed within our fundamental rights. So the origin of fundamental rights in India goes to the Karachi session. Thereafter, the National Economic Program was also endorsed. And basically, it was in essence the first political and economic program which Congress had given after a lot of years. What did the economic program say? Substantial reduction in rent and revenue. Basically, if the concept of INC becomes the leader or becomes the representative government of India, it will have the following economic program: reduction in rent and revenue, exemption from rent for uneconomical holdings. If you do have a small holding, no rent itself, relief from agricultural indebtedness, control on usury or usury as it is called, basically the toll tax, better condition of workers living with a living wage, limited hours, protection of women workers, right to work and peasant to form unions, and state ownership of key industries. This is the model of PPP in India and PSUs. The concept of PSU. PSU being public sector undertaking. Our mixed economy concept is toll tax on anything. The PSU concept comes from here. So Karachi session, as I said, you have Gandhi Irwin Pact, Gandhi spokesperson of the Second Roundtable Conference, National Economic Program, fundamental rights. If all of this is clear, then let me take you to London. You have to remember these four things. That's it. Don't have to remember what is inside. Can we go to London now? Because I have to take you to London with Gandhi. Gandhi. Okay. Gandhi. Now, Gandhi reaches London. Gandhi reaches London by ship, obviously. RTC still wants dominion. Gandhi represents something totally different. Now, Gandhi was an instant success. The British men and women were fascinated by Gandhi. There was this man just technically clad with one dhoti in the cold of London, in the dampness of London. And these are the images which you see, real images which you see of Gandhi in London itself. But the most iconic image of the Second Roundtable Conference is rather this. With Ramsay MacDonald sitting next to him and Gandhi representing the INC solely. This image, in a way, with Dr. Ambedkar here, this image, in a way, is going to tell us what is going to happen further. Sarojini Naidu was also there, but not in this image. I think she's not. Is Gandhi and the British Prime Minister and Dr. Ambedkar. Nehru did not go, obviously. Nehru was not represented here. Now, I want to discuss, Irwin obviously is in India. Briefly called. Ironically, Irwin had agreed to so much that Irwin will be recalled as soon as the Gandhi-Irwin Pact will be accepted and Wellington will be sent. Actually, when Irwin went to say to Ramsay MacDonald, work done, they will come to the round table. So the Prime Minister asked, what did you agree to? He said, I agreed to all of this. So Ramsay MacDonald was now holding his head that what all you have agreed to, I didn't ask you to agree to all of this. And basically, he will be punished by removed. He will be removed within 2 months of the Gandhi-Irwin Pact. They will be like, what have you done? You've given literally everything what Gandhi asked for. And basically, Gandhi, technically in a way, was the reason why Irwin was recalled back. He was fired from his job. But the basic point of the matter, this is an iconic picture, in a way embodies, it's from the British archives itself, embodies this moment, a major moment in which Gandhi is sitting in London, now not as a student, but as a person who's now trying to find, this was not Gandhi going for the first time, this was Gandhi for the second time. Gandhi before was a law student, and here is he sitting trying to find out how he can get India independence. Now, I want to discuss the second roundtable conference, what is going to happen here, or what is the politics here. Can we discuss that? Okay. Now, Gandhi, I will give you the list of members, don't worry. Gandhi has basic standard demand. He said, we don't want dominion. We don't want dominion status. We want complete independence. I have agreed to come, but I still do not believe that you technically embody our basic motive, which is to give us complete independence. But now what the British now try to do, is that they try to show to the world via the RTC that the Gandhi does not represent the people of India. Because what is proposed is that Gandhi says complete independence, no separate electorates. And he very simply said that when it comes to any of the minorities, we will deal after independence. He said, I will deal with the concept of, we will figure out our own house. You give us independence right now. But now what Ramsay MacDonald technically does is that he brings in the concept of separate electorates. And what he does is he proposes separate electorates for the first time in Indian history for the depressed classes. And this is going to become the reason for the deadlock between Gandhi and the other people who are sitting there. Basically, the minority members, Jinha, Dr. Ambedkar, were very clear that they want separate electorates. But now, basically, the British are doing a very dangerous thing. See, the British had already divided India into four basic concepts. You have Hindu, you have Muslim, you have Sikh, and you have Christian. Can we agree to this, that that was the only purpose basically of the separate electorates? Each of them have been given a separate electorate. But now what the British is doing is they are dissecting the Hindu community also by saying that the depressed classes should be given separate electorates again. So one more axis of division. Now Gandhi straight away says that this cannot be accepted by me or by anybody in India. We cannot say that the depressed classes are a separate part of Hindu society. He said, if we are going to do this, then you will divide us on any line you want. You will divide us on caste, separate electorate for each and every caste. Everything will be divided according to whatever we see. Now, this is where there will be a major standoff between what is called the Minorities Pact, which is the members of the minorities, and Gandhi. Gandhi will say, I accept everything, but I will not accept the concept of separate electorates for depressed classes. Separate electorates as a concept does not actually mean anything to me. And basic point of the matter is, I will not. Christians had already been given, Sikh had already been given, Muslims had already been given. Muslims via the Morley-Minto reforms, and Christian and Sikhs via the Montagu-Chelmsford reforms. The simple point of the matter is Gandhi was never ready to agree to depressed classes. Now, why divide it into religions? Because that is the way you make sure that India never gets united, divide and rule politics. The simple point of the matter is now British are doing politics. And what they do is there's a deadlock and the second roundtable conference will fail because Gandhi will straight away say that I don't accept any of the demands. I don't accept anything. And basically, the INC was literally discredited by the British by saying that, see, this is the INC. They are not united only. Basically, to the world now, the British can say INC does not represent all of India. It does not represent all of India because Indians are not ready to stand behind the INC. And this is where the major politics is done by the British. And what is the point is Gandhi is going to come back. Gandhi is going to come back. As soon as he will come back, he will try to meet Wellington. Wellington, do two spellings you will find in books, Wellington and Wellington, same person. And basically, Gandhi will say that I want to meet Wellington. Now, after this point, after Irwin, no viceroy ever accepted to meet Gandhi again. Because people said that Irwin was a fool, that he actually met Gandhi on equal footing. Wellington said, I don't want to meet you. And what Gandhi will do is, he will launch the second phase of the CDM called CDM phase 2. He will say, I will start civil disobedience again. Wellington said, do it. And he starts. But the problem is, Wellington was not Irwin. Wellington will use heavy repression, police lathi charge shooting, and technically take everything what Irwin had given. And Gandhi thereafter will now get caught up in this concept. He will get arrested himself and will now get caught up into something what we call as communal awards and Pune Pact. But when he did come, he started CDM phase 2. CDM phase 2. Can I discuss all of this from the PPT? You get the point, what is called the Minorities Pact versus Gandhi. Minorities say we want separate electorates. Gandhi says, no, we don't. No, we don't. We don't want. Okay, so on 7th September 1931 to December 1st, 1931, the Irwin will be replaced very quickly. You will find two spellings, Tun also, Dun also, Welling. Dun and Tun are the same person. Let me remove this name and I put you this. Thereafter, the conference saw overwhelming number of Indian delegates this time. Everybody came. But the conference turned aggressive between the Gandhian faction and other nationalist leaders. The government refused to concede the demand of basic independence that obviously they were never going to give. But why is this conference considered problematic? Because Gandhi represented the Congress at this conference. Sarojini Naidu went with the Indian women. In the conference, Gandhi reiterated the partnership between Britain and India now as two equal nations. And Gandhi's main point include responsible government immediately, both at center and province. Congress should represent India alone. Untouchables were Hindus and not treated as a minority. There should be no separate electorates or special safeguards for Muslims or any other minority. Now, this will not go well with anyone else. And basically, the participants would include Gandhi from Congress and Muslim League. They took technically a barat there. The whole, I don't know, 31 members were there. Everybody in Muslim League said that I want to go to London. So you see Muslim League, how many members went? That's a separate issue altogether. But Congress is represented by Gandhi. For us, what is important is depressed classes represented by Dr. Ambedkar again. And you have women where Sarojini Naidu, the Nightingale of India, and again Begum Jahanara Shahnawaz is going to be there. Other than that, you don't have to remember anything specifically. Now, what is the deadlock? Can we discuss the deadlock? Everybody is with me till this point? No issues? Everybody understanding the deadlock? Yes? Now, the deadlock is that Churchill will say, conservative Churchill, will say that we need a stronger stance against the Congress, and they demanded a strong government in India and a strong viceroy. Ramsay MacDonald, who headed the conservative dominated cabinet with a weak and reactionary Secretary of State Samuel Hore, overwhelming majority of RTC delegates were conservatives, men who had used or were used by colonial government to assert that the Congress did not represent all Indians and neutralize Gandhi's and his effects. The session soon became a deadlock over the question of minorities. Separate electorates were being demanded by Muslims, depressed classes, Christians, Europeans, Anglo-Indians, which is together called the Minorities Pact. And Gandhi fought desperately against this concerted effort, all for constitutional progress, unconditionally based on no minority politics. This is the same deadlock I'm discussing, but I'm discussing through the PPT. Now, outcome of all of this is going to be Gandhi is going to come back. What will be decided here is that two Muslim states, two Muslim majority provinces will be created, which will come in 1935 Act. 2-3 committees will be formed, but basically government failed to concede the Indian demand for freedom. As it is, they were never going to give it. Now, as soon as Gandhi comes back, he could see that political turmoil was spreading all across India. Viceroy had now introduced a lot of ordinances. He will return on 28 December 1931. He will decide to resume the civil disobedience movement. Wellington will refuse to meet Gandhi on December 31st. And on 4th January 1932, Gandhi will get arrested himself. But this larger story is not this. What will happen is the government will now ban all Congress organizations. Offices, funds, all will be seized. Everybody will be arrested. Property will be confiscated. Gandhi ashrams will be occupied. Repression will be hard on women. Press will be gagged and banned. Basically, Wellington, no, you don't have to learn this. Wellington will reverse all good trends. What I'm trying to tell you is that CDM phase 2 is going to be a failure, because though the people were in anger and 80,000 satyagrahis will again get jailed, the simple point of the matter is they will do what they need to do. They will do what they need to do. Illegal gatherings, non-violent demonstrations, the symbolic hoisting of flags. But this time the government was not ready to listen. What I'm trying to tell you very simply is that CDM phase 2 is a major failure. Is a major failure, because Gandhi was arrested and the government's approach had totally changed. The government's approach had totally changed, which is that we will not tolerate anything, and that is why CDM phase 2 is going to be a major failure. And in 1933, as it is, Gandhi will suspend it, and in 1934, CDM will be stopped fully. But what is more important is not this, but the year of 1932, what happens when Gandhi is in the jail itself. But what you need to learn very simply is roundtable conferences fail, minority issue, CDM phase 2 launched, and then suspended. Wellington was much harsher than Irving that way. Can we agree to this? Because there's a lot of detail, I know, but we have to keep it very simple here. Okay. Now, as I said, Gandhi suspends in May of 1933. April 1934, Gandhi will withdraw the movement itself. In Alwar, though we had a local Raja who even became independent at this point of time, who tried to assert their uprising and their independence. But because Gandhi was not there to sustain the movement, and generally the government's approach was totally different, nothing really happens. Now I need to discuss this with you. Very important. Anglo-Indians, Tushar, really don't matter in this story. Anglo-Indians, you ask me, who are Anglo-Indians? Anglo-Indians are father Britisher, Indian mother. Okay. What to write, what to learn? Simple. I discussed CDM with you, phase 1, phase 2. First roundtable conference failure, second roundtable conference failure. You need to remember why it failed. Why it failed. Can we agree to that much? Yashika, everyone. Why it failed? Because of the minorities issue. Great. Perfect. Now, third roundtable conference is going to again happen in the background. It will be failure. But what is more important is this. Now, irrespective of Gandhi's insistence of saying that the depressed classes do not represent a minority within Indian community, the British Prime Minister will introduce what is called the communal awards. And these communal awards in 1932 are very, very significant because under communal awards, depressed classes will be given separate electorate. But the most dangerous point here is technically the British wanted to divide Gandhi and Dr. Ambedkar, because Dr. Ambedkar did ask for this throughout the three roundtable conferences. But when Gandhi and Ambedkar did interact at the second roundtable conference, the British very quickly realized that these two towering figures can be pushed or can be pit against each other. Ramsay MacDonald is the Prime Minister. And therefore, as soon as the communal awards are going to come, Gandhi will get to know in the jail and Gandhi will say, I don't accept it. Utter shock he was in, that I don't accept this concept. I will not let the British divide us on another axis. They have already divided us on religion. I will not let the Hindu community itself get divided, because if this is going to be used, then upper caste, lower caste, this caste, that caste, everybody will get a separate electorate. It will disunite India in such a way that national movement will fail. India will never get independence. India will never get independence this way. And that is why Gandhi, in protest of the separate electorates, in order to change the mind of Dr. Ambedkar, will now do what is called a fast. He will say that I want Dr. Ambedkar to change his stance. I want the British to change their stance. I want Dr. Ambedkar to change his stance for the unity of India. And therein, he will go for a fast unto death. And finally, at the Pune jail, whilst there was negotiations which were happening between Dr. Ambedkar, Pandit Madan Mohan Malviya, a pact will be signed which is called the Pune Pact under Gandhi and Dr. Ambedkar. And in this, Dr. Ambedkar will give up his demand for separate electorates for depressed classes, though the number of reserved seats which the Congress was going to offer was going to be increased to from 71 to 147, doubled. The basic point of the matter was Gandhi needed to somehow stop this dissection. And now when Dr. Ambedkar is going to write to Ramsay MacDonald that I do not accept separate electorates, thereafter Ramsay MacDonald communal awards will be taken back. However, now Gandhi will change his orientation. Between 1932 to 1939-40, Gandhi will more or less withdraw himself from active politics. And now he will go into what we call his Harijan campaign. In order to show that Gandhi was serious about the issue of depressed classes, he will say, yes, Pune Pact between Gandhi and Ambedkar, Gandhi will say that my commitment towards untouchability, and I will not call them depressed classes, I will call them Harijan. And therefore, he will now organize 2-3 important different bodies which will represent his Harijan campaign. Basically, after 1932, Gandhi will very simply concentrate on untouchability and Harijans. As I said, second roundtable conference, again repeating myself, second roundtable conference will break down on the concept of minorities pact. Gandhi was very clear about the minorities issue. No depressed classes, separate electorate. However, as soon as the suppressed classes are given separate electorate under communal awards, Gandhi will go into fast and try to change the mind of Dr. Ambedkar. Dr. Ambedkar could not have allowed Gandhi to die over this issue. Both understood their positions and their importance in the national movement. And Dr. Ambedkar was ready to understand Gandhi's perspective about how the British were trying to do divide and rule. But the Congress will become more sensitive to the depressed class issue, and Gandhi will thereafter prove to the people and technically go into his Harijan phase. Is this clear? Then what is left is technically the smallest most stories. Are you getting my point, everybody? Perfect. So you want me to read the PPT? I'll read the PPT. Okay. British Prime Minister Ramsay MacDonald announced in 1932 that depressed classes in a minority and will get separate electorates. Everybody is with me, right? You understand the larger flow and ebb here, right? The details I will give you. Everything is written in the PPT. What I want you to understand is the larger flow here. Okay, perfect. So it was a long-standing demand of Dr. Ambedkar for depressed classes had no chance of entering the assembly because of limited franchise. The reason for opposition was that the government were trying to divide the Indians further. This would lead to great damage to the community, and the Congress leaders were not happy. Though opposed to separate electorates, the Congress was not in favor of changing the communal awards without the consent of Dr. Ambedkar. Thus, while strongly disagreeing with the communal awards, the Congress decided neither to accept it or reject it. The efforts of separate depressed classes or separate electorates for depressed classes from the rest of the Hindu community would therefore technically be be widely criticized, but it would only lead to the disintegration of Indian society further. Now, basically, Gandhi is going to get to know about the depressed classes, separate electorate, the communal awards. Gandhi was in deep shock and opposed separate electorates. He saw the communal awards as an attack on Indian unity and nationalism. He thought that it was both harmful for Hinduism and depressed classes. If they don't get integrated, they will totally get segregated. Basically, what can we write? This what you can write in the examination. Simple point of the matter is that Gandhi believed that if the depressed classes are taken out of the Hinduistic society, they will always and ever be represented as depressed classes. He said we need to integrate the depressed classes rather than actually excluding them. Therefore, once the depressed classes were treated as a separate political entity, the question of abolishing untouchability would be undermined, while separate electorates would ensure untouchable remains untouchables in perpetuity. This is the basic point. He understood that we need to reform. We don't need to destroy this relationship. We don't need to dissect. We reform, we don't change anything. This is Gandhi's concept. It is detrimental to Hindu society also and to depressed classes also if this goes forward in the long run. Now, he said what was required was not protection of so-called interests, but eradication of untouchability. Gandhi demanded that depressed classes be elected through joint, if possible, wider electorate through universal franchise, while expressing no objection with regards to larger number of reserved seats. He said reserved seats give, but reserved plus joint, not reserved plus separate. Now it's called the Pune Pact. Gandhi was in the Yadarwa jail. He went on to fast on to death in order to oppose MacDonald Awards on 30th September 1932. Due to Gandhi's fast, huge pressure created on Dr. Ambedkar to take this demand back. And Dr. Ambedkar, M.C. Raja and Madan Mohan Malviya will try to hammer out a compromise. And Dr. Ambedkar finally agreed to or to basically meet the negotiations of Gandhi. And what is going to happen is on 5th September 1932, there was a pact between Gandhi and Ambedkar, which is called Pune Pact, after which no separate electorates for depressed classes, Instead, separate electorates would not be given. What will be given is depressed classes seats will be increased in provincial legislative assembly from 71 to 147 and 18% of total legislative central legislature, adequate representation of the depressed classes in civil services, and the pact was accepted by the government as an amendment to the communal awards. But the government is so problematic that even after doing this, they will actually push it in the Government of India Act 1935, which you will see. Simple point is, it was a very important moment for India because these two towering leaders were able to reconcile each other. Now, in order to prove that Gandhi was serious about the Harijan issue, Pune Pact clear, everyone? Last 10 minutes. Pune Pact is clear, right? Yes. Now, in order to prove that Gandhi was serious about the untouchability issue, he will therefore introduce his what is called as Harijan campaign. Under Harijan campaign, now Gandhi will retreat from active politics and now start the anti-untouchability campaign, which he actually had thought about. So determined to undo the decisive intentions. Determined to undo the decisive intentions of the government by divide and rule. Now Gandhi, from 1st August until his release in 1933, he will start to now go into proper Harijan development. And what is important for you, is this for the examination. Because Anti-Untouchability League, All India Anti-Untouchability League, who formed it? So Gandhi formed it. And he also started a newspaper called Harijan. Please note this. I will just mark it for you. Don't worry. 1, 2. Can you remember All India Anti-Untouchability League, Gandhi? An unlikeliest of options to put, but you have to mark it for Gandhi. After he release, he will shift his campaigns out of Sabarmati and go to Wardha. And he has said that he will only return to Sabarmati once he's got independence. He did not get independence. As it is, he needed to change his approach. So he rather moves out of Sabarmati and goes to Wardha. And at Wardha, his most important emphasis was Harijan development. Thereafter, from Wardha, he will start to conduct what are called Harijan tours. He will start to move around in India. 20,000 kilometers was covered by him, collecting revenue, collecting money, and basically another organization will be formed by him, Harijan Sevak Sangh. Second, Harijan Sevak Sangh, in order to remove untouchability in India, urge political workers and different people to remove the untouchability concept in India, will hold 2 fasts in 1934 to convince that he is serious about his issue, this concept of self-purification. And last but not the least is, Gandhi will be criticized by a lot of different orthodox elements, shown black flags. Basically, Gandhi people will believe that Gandhi had lost it. He had now gone into a totally different mood itself. He will become a part of the temple entry movement, which I will discuss with you tomorrow. And basically, Pune Pact is when Gandhi will change his orientation. Whilst all of this is happening, one drama is happening in London also, which is called Third Roundtable Conference. Congress boycotted it again. Labour Party of the Britain boycotted it. Hindu Mahasabha, Muslim League and Princely State still participated. No real conclusion. The conclusion is what is called the white papers, which I will discuss with you tomorrow, which is 1935 Government of India Act. And basically, all of this just meant nothing in the larger context. CDM was again a failure, but this phase was very, very important. We will have the concept of universal adult franchise talked about. We will have even the concept of Chaudhry Rahmat Ali proposing the name Pakistan for the first time in this third roundtable conference. However, it will be met with 46 delegates will be there. But as I said, depressed classes again, Dr. Ambedkar will go, and women, Begum Jahanara Shahnawaz, what is the standard concept? I will discuss the concept of Linlithgow with you, because Linlithgow is the person who's going to now come into picture. He will be the now next Viceroy of India, one of the worst Viceroys of India ever. Now, let me go back to the timeline, and I have to summarize everything. story is over. Let me bring everything together. Viceroy Linlithgow is the next Viceroy after Wellington is Linlithgow. First, you tell me, you understand the larger ebb and flow. This period looks short, but is very heavy because there are 3-4 things. Only one roundtable conference is attended by the Congress. Now, let me summarize everything. Listen to. Irwin gives a declaration. Now, I'm giving the whole summary to you. One go. Irwin gives a declaration. Roundtable conference for dominion status. Delhi Manifesto says, give us right now. They said, no, we will not give it to you right now. That is not the plan. Purna Swaraj resolution comes in 1929. Thereafter, 11-point ultimatum, we will go for CDM. Even 11-point ultimatum ignored. CDM will start. CDM, very important first phase, 30 to 31. Everybody is part of it. No revenue campaign, no rent campaign, salt marches, anti-Chaukidari task, the Khan Abdul Ghaffar Khan, Krishna Pillai, KK Nair, C. Rajagopalachari, all India level, Cunningham Circular, perfect. Everything is perfect. But first roundtable conference happens in the background, useless without the INC. Government wants the INC in the roundtable conference. On the other hand, Gandhi can see that the movement is overheating. Now there's a convergence. That convergence is called Gandhi-Irwin Pact. Everything accepted by Irwin except for 2, police excess and Bhagat Singh commutation. And for that, Gandhi will go as the sole member for the second roundtable conference. Second roundtable conference happens. However, the concept of minorities issue is going to become a deadlock. Gandhi will say depressed classes are not separate part of Indian society. He will come back, launch CDM phase 2, but the government will repress the CDM phase 2. It will become useless by 33, 34 abandoned. However, 32 itself in Yadar Yale, Gandhi will now hear about what is called the communal awards. The communal awards was given by Ramsay MacDonald, the Prime Minister, which is separate electorate for depressed classes. Gandhi will go on to a fast. That fast will in turn lead to what? The pact, which is called the Pune Pact between Gandhi and Ambedkar, which is that Ambedkar will give up his concept of, Dr. Ambedkar will give up his concept of the separate electorates. He will go for reserved seats. Separate electorates is removed. Reserved seats with joint electorate. Thereafter, Gandhi will try to prove that he is serious about the untouchability issue. From 32 to 38, 39, he will go into his Harijan campaign. This is what is the summary of this whole period. The only 2 people who attended all 3 roundtable conferences, Dr. Ambedkar and Begum Jahanara Shahnawaz. Does this make sense? Can you now envisage the whole period in that sense? Done? Perfect. Great. Harijan timeline, don't have to worry. Just have to write 2 things. All India Harijan campaign, All India Harijan Untouchability League and Harijan Sevak Sangh. That is it. Pune Pact in simple words. Racha, government gives separate electorates to depressed classes. Ambedkar wanted it. Gandhi convinced Ambedkar to change his demand by a fast Pune Pact. Okay, if you don't have a question, I will see you tomorrow. Tomorrow is a very important phase. Everybody is disillusioned. Gandhi versus Bose. 35 to 42 we will reach. We will discuss Government of India Act 1935. We will discuss perfect Shruti. Extremely satisfying to know that. The basic point of the matter is we will discuss Gandhi versus Bose. We will discuss the concept of August offer, Cripps mission, Government of India Act 1935. Harijan was an article launched by him, yes. So, thank you so much for your patience. Today we've covered a very major phase. We will see you, I will see you tomorrow same time. Last 3 classes of modern India. Once that we will do post-independence, equally interesting, equally important. Saturday there will be an extra class so as to make up for the time we lost in the first class. Most probably 7 to 10:30. We will discuss what we have to do. You will get a notification for that. Perfect. Gandhi and Ambedkar and Dr. Ambedkar and Gandhi, Bhagat Singh and Gandhi, I leave it to you. It is your call. You are your master. You are independent. You are free to do what you want to do and understand what you want to understand. Thank you. Take care. I'll see you tomorrow.